This is the Grow Business Podcast
Cool.
with Cory Mosley and Kerry James.
He says it's cool.
It is cool. It is cool.
It is cool. Cool in here?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
You're cool.
Well, yeah.
I'm digging the shirt today, by the way.
Are you?
Yeah.
It's just a black
I like
shirt.
the black T-shirts.
Yeah, where's yours?
It's getting dry cleaned.
Your T-shirt? Your T-shirt is getting dry
I
cleaned?
had yesterday.
Your T-shirt's getting dry cleaned?
Well, I took a note from you.
Oh, I'm not encouraging you to spend money on dry cleaning.
You know what I mean.
I just want you to use an iron or a steamer.
Yeah, I used the steamer.
Oh, okay. Good. I'm glad at your age that steaming is a
My
breakthrough.
advanced age.
Yeah. Well, I just said age.
that
I wasn't going to give anybody the goods on you for
When I was
sure.
coming up, an iron was actually a real iron.
Yeah, I understand. It was like a hot plate. It was a hot. You got to get it hot on the coals. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Let's not
All right.
Listen, I know you regale in your youthfulness, so that's what's important. It's not how old you actually are, as in on your license, which says you're old. It is how you feel. That's
It is how you
important.
feel. Yes,
right?
correct.
How many
Yes.
miles did you run today?
Just 3.5.
Okay, just 3.5.
Yeah.
That's under.
Yeah.
What is the normal number? 5?
Used to be 5.
Used to be.
Yeah.
You stepped off the gas. Why? You're tired at 3.5, or
something
time,
started
or
to
what?
slow down last
Okay.
like 6 months. I'm not sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
3.5 miles a day.
Yes, it was just about 30
7
minutes.
days a week.
Yes,
Okay, you run every day.
I do.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
I mean, that takes a lot of discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, and you've been doing that for a long time.
Yes.
How long?
15
Did you
years?
ever used to be big?
Yes.
How? Oh, let me,
Oh, boy.
because, yeah, when William stood up. Yeah. Yeah, let me clarify.
Oh, Lord.
Like,
No, I
what do you call? Yeah, let's be fair. What do you call big
I was almost 30 pounds heavier than I am now.
than you are now? Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Which is still, I would stab somebody to then be that. Which I know I could. And folks, I'm on my own regimen. So just because you wouldn't imagine, you don't realize how many DMs I get from fitness people that are going to get me ripped and shredded. And I love it. I mean, I love the hustle. I appreciate the hustle, and I'm sure they can help me. But everybody's just got to be on their own journey in their own time.
Yes.
So I appreciate the love and the DMs and people willing to come to the house. I had a buddy of mine. He flew a guy in. I mean, that's how serious he was. He flew a guy in. The guy lived there for like a month in his house, and he had the gym in the basement and the whole deal.
And what was the outcome?
Oh, he lost the weight.
There you go.
Yeah,
Works.
but now I don't know. He's in. I don't know what he's doing now. He's in maintenance mode or in some kind of mode where he doesn't care about it as much. But he's not. I don't know exactly what happened. I just know that in that snapshot in time, that's how serious he was.
Yes.
So
I didn't fly a guy in.
Yeah,
But I had a guy.
So I'm thankful that we got past the panic of that extra 30 pounds that you had on you, because I could just imagine. I mean, death was knocking at your door. So I'm glad, and I do respect your discipline in doing it.
Thank you.
I don't know how much your knees will respect what you're doing over the next 10 years, but
That's why I've cut back a little bit. Yeah.
it's a lot of pressure. Banging on that treadmill, bomb.
Easier than the street, though, because the treadmill gives a little bit.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, we'll do another show on fitness, but at another time, which I clearly won't be leading that conversation. Maybe Kerry, that'll be your opportunity maybe to lead that day. But today I want to talk about media, but I want to be very specific in the conversation about media. I want to give you some strategies. I'm going to give you 6 strategies today. If you are a business owner that is starting to do more media, starting to want to get out there, maybe you're going on people's podcasts, or you want to get on podcasts, maybe you have an opportunity to do some local television or stream online. Maybe you're coming to our studio or looking to come to our studio, but you're concerned about how you will be on camera. I want to give 6 strategies today on how to ace your next interview.
Okay.
So, spoiler alert, I've been interviewed a lot in 20 years.
Yes.
I've interviewed a lot. Obviously, we do it every day here with RVA Small Business Network and Thought Leadership Studios, and hosted shows for years. So this is an area that we're safe.
Yes, we are.
And I mean,
experienced.
Right, because you know how I am. I like to live. Part of the model here is we whether are students of information that we want to educate you on and pass along to you, things that you may not know or be aware of that we believe are helpful. Two, they are tactics, tips, strategies, things that I've lived, both plus and minus, or, right? Or they're things that we are actively doing
right
today.
now. Right. Yep.
You know, so that's the perspective that we always come from here. I don't, we're not trying to be gurus. I'm not trying to be your guru or anything like that. But it comes from one of those three areas. Whether been punched in the face, had a success story, or it's something that we're studying, or it's something that we're doing that is being effective for us. So 6 strategies on acing your next interview. Now, if you're not doing media or trying to do media, I want to first start there because there is a missed opportunity, I believe, in that area. Now, Kerry, you've spent, is it 20 years on air and broadcasting,
right, yeah.
20 years in broadcasting. Kerry was the guy you would see at the remotes if you were at the car dealership and they were making hot dogs. And
yes, right.
Kerry'd be there under the tent, and he'd do. Give me a sample. What would a drop? It's called a drop, right? What would a drop? Oh, we're going to Kerry James, who's at the local car dealership.
So we're down here at Mosley's Automotive today, and today we've got some great specials going on for you. If you come in today, and today only between 11 and 1 p.m., we're going to hook you up with a 20% discount on any automotive service just for today only. And you can come by and grab a slice of pizza with us as well. I'm Kerry James on WXY, blah, blah, blah. I won't say the name of the station.
Right. I understand.
That's it.
Yeah. And then you throw it back like that.
Back to you.
Back to you. So he was out there with all his fans.
Where's my check?
Yeah, where's my check? You were out there with all your fans and groupies. Kerry used to have the groupies showing up wherever he was. If he was at wherever you were, the Dress Barn, the Applebee's, wherever you were doing the remote at.
Where's the check?
Yeah, they're there. Kerry. Like I could just imagine he was there, quaffing the hair, spinning it, get a little windy. They obviously, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can see it.
Using the hair products.
Yeah. If you're listening, just imagine Kerry. What is it? Just quaffing his hair in the wind while it's on a windy day. But a lot of experience in this broadcasting, being on air as well here, and have seen a lot, have experienced a lot, have had done a lot of interviews yourself.
Yes, of course.
And witnessed some good ones and maybe
some that you need to learn from.
Yeah, maybe some crazy ones.
Sure.
Or anybody ever say anything crazy on the air? Like fineable stuff? Like out of nowhere?
I said something fineable.
Did you?
Once.
What'd you do?
Yes. I did swear on the air one time.
What happened? Why?
We haven't talked about this.
No. I learn new things about you every day.
I was on a college radio station.
Okay.
So this was
all right. So young and dumb, that kind
ago.
of deal. Young and dumb. Yeah.
And I said the S word just in conversation. I was interviewing someone, and I said the S word. Didn't realize I said it.
Sex.
No.
Oh.
The other one.
Oh, okay. SHIT.
And came home, and my roommate said, you said such and such. I was like, no, I didn't. He said, I taped it. He played it for me. I was like, oh.
Nice. What a good friend.
Next time I went into the radio station.
Make sure he can show you the errors of your ways directly.
But I was suspended for a week.
A week?
Yeah.
Wow. What was the fine back then? I mean, 25 cents?
It was a college station, so I didn't get fined, but it was a finable offense.
Okay.
Like I could have been.
What do you think they fined people back then? 25 cents for?
Back then? This is Marconi days.
That was a whole nickel you had to
shore
this station
radio
had to,
that we
this station had to pay a nickel for that. I love it. Okay. All right. Well, that was interesting. This is a fun fact. Another fun fact about Kerry James that we did not know. So you're in good hands today, folks, because you've got 20 years of broadcasting. You've got streaming, interviews, media, video media. Because the fact of the matter is, attention is the new currency.
Yes, it is.
Right? I mean, what are we doing here? Right? we want attention, but we want to serve, right? We want to serve. That's the goal. The goal here is to serve. The goal here is to give you some information and share some information with you that you do not have, share something that you do not know right now. And then after our time together, you now have new information. You are changed. Yeah. Yeah, and that value will scale and swing. The pendulum on that value will scale based on where you are at in your business.
Yes.
Where you are you
in your career, your business, and your
are you listening to this right now? Because I found that we get these emails. You know, I'm surprised at the number of people who are consuming our information, consuming our content, because they're in a state where they're trying to build their confidence to go out.
Yes.
They're in a corporate role right now. They're at a corporate job. They're not even corporate. They're at a job, but they want to, you know, they're a fitness enthusiast and they want to become a personal trainer, or they want to do virtual personal training, or they've been a sales trainer for many years inside an organization and they want to start their own business. I'm surprised a lot. So as many people, obviously, that are in business already and working with the business, there's a lot of people who are taking these tips to build their confidence, getting this information, doing the work now to build their confidence so they can accelerate when they go. And these efforts and what we're doing here is a reflection of the fact that everybody wants attention.
Yes.
Now, attention comes in different ways. You go on social media and there's people trying to get attention in a lot of ways right now. And some of those, you might share with your mother. Some of those maybe you don't. Maybe you wouldn't want daddy to know on there. So there is this attention. And, it's the interesting thing about it is what is that goal, right? What does that even look like 20 years from now? Because you can monetize content. So if you are shaking something or showing something, you can get those views. You can monetize that. You've got a gabillion views. But now, someone puts out some informational, educational content, and now it's a struggle. And then sometimes, you're like, man, should I just have Kerry take his shirt off or what? What would that do? What could that?
Yeah.
Would that just
up or down,
would that just accelerate views up or down?
Up or down.
I don't know, Kerry James.
Could go down.
Get those YouTube views up. But there's different types of that. But at the end of the day, we're still making the same statement that attention is the new currency. And there's some interesting statistics on that. Particularly when it comes to video. Now, I understand you may be listening to the podcast here. So from a video standpoint, we know video is powerful. Podcasting, the audio medium is also important too, which is why Clubhouse has done so well. Now they're making some changes that I don't know what the long play is on that, but Clubhouse. Have you ever spent any time on Clubhouse?
I have not. Please elaborate.
Okay, well, you don't know what it is.
I don't.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Kerry James.
Let's talk about it.
But I'm one of those people that started playing with it and then just got pulled in some other directions. But Clubhouse is really an online community. It's basically an online community, but it's audio based. So so if you think about going into where you would go into a chat room, or you might go into a group session on video, or be on a group Zoom with some people like masterminding, Clubhouse is audio only, so you can only hear.
Right.
So you can go in, you can have different things going on, different classes. People do training, people do mix and mingles, all this stuff. And then it's just audio. So they're talking back and forth.
Participates just
voice. So you're not, you're not worried about, putting your face on.
Sure, right.
Right, as they say, I have a face for radio. People have a face for radio. Yeah. Right. You're not worried about makeup. You're not worried about doing any of those things, or where you are.
Yeah, right.
Like, there's a lot of people in their house coats. A lot of people in them house coats, or birthday suits on that audio, right? Because there's this. So the idea is, right, I'm sure there's some science maybe, but you have a tendency to maybe pay more attention because you're not distracted by other things going on.
You're in a comfort zone.
Right. You're also not influenced by how someone looks, whether they look great or maybe not. Yeah, whatever. So it's a powerful medium. And it doesn't matter here because I want to talk about thought leadership before we get into the 6, because the real value is thought leadership is playing a huge role. And this doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter if you have a landscaping business, or you put down floors, or you have a housekeeping business. Thought leadership is important. You've got some stats on that, Kerry. Talk to us about that.
So 65% of buyers say thought leadership significantly changed the perception of a company for the better.
Okay.
64% of buyers say that an organization's thought leadership content is a more trustworthy basis for assessing its capabilities and competency than its marketing materials and product sheets. And 63% of buyers also say that thought leadership is important in providing proof that an organization genuinely understands or can solve their specific business challenges.
Now, I mean, that's important, right? And there's a lot of reasons why I think you'd agree that that's important. You know, people are investing their money and their dollars in people before the brands.
Yes.
Right? So you used to have these just ubiquitous brands, the GEs of the world. And, you know, no matter what, it was just this trust that you had in the institution. And that's just not the same anymore.
No.
You know?
People want to invest where they know the organization or the person leading the organization believes in something, supports something, cares about something. Yeah, they want a connection there.
And people love the story. People love the story.
Yes. That there's
I mean, look at a brand like Warby Parker.
Okay.
Eyeglass brand, Warby Parker. Yeah. Right? They're like a cult now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a cult-like thing.
That's funny,
and they're shaking up, you know, they're shaking up the world.
Yeah.
You know, it used to be, I need glasses. I'm going to Lens Crafters or Pearl Vision. Right? Those were like the big names in the
But about 8 or 10 years ago, they quietly kind of started getting out there.
Well, you know what they said? They said, well, there's a big Luxottica brand owns basically every eyeglass manufacturer, like all the brand names, all the different sub names. So it became a, you know, what's the should I call it a mafia? It became it became just a landlocked type thing, a closed door type thing where there was all this markup and all these different things. And Warby Parker comes in and they're like, hey, spoiler alert, eyeglasses really shouldn't cost, like the frames really shouldn't cost $400 or $600 or $700. You don't have to do that and have high quality frames. And we're going to disrupt this deal because we're not going to make you come in. We'll ship you glasses. We'll do all these things to streamline the process.
Yes.
We're going to build it customer. We're going to build it customer first, right?
Yes.
So now it creates a cult. You have the ability to do that with your brand in your way based on what you do, right? So there's a guy on TikTok. So apparently there's a big rash of theft that's been happening with tires in the DC metro area, where people are literally rolling up and on streets, in parking garages. They're rolling up, popping the cars on crates, and stealing the tires. So it seems to be a lot of Hondas and Toyotas. I don't know what the correlation is. I don't know if that has something to do with wheel locks, or I don't know the rest of the story. But I know that this guy is now a TikTok phenomenon because he films all these ones. And he's like, another one, like DJ Khaled, another one. So he's, and that's what he does. And he gets all these views and these people, but he's not just showing this, but he's also creating this viral sensation of him as the tow truck guy to go to in his market area. So yes, he's getting views from maybe across the world, from across the country. Of course, you know, somebody has a tire issue in California, you know, they're not calling the guy who's in Washington, D.C. But that virility does scale his visibility, which is free.
Yeah, it is.
Which is free.
Free marketing.
Yeah. So he's doing these things, he's showing, and I thought leadership, right? That's a loose, but he's showing the process, what he does, how he puts the new wheels on, how he maneuvers out of spaces. So again, he's just making himself a go-to person.
Yes, he is.
You know, and he has done TV. You know, local news has covered him in these different types of things. So, so folks, you want to be doing more media. You want to be putting yourself, quote unquote, out there more to do that. And having those opportunities, you want to be prepared for those opportunities. Because when you think about doing that and you think about taking on that role and pushing yourself to do more media and getting more active in that way, right? You're talking about your ability to establish credibility, your ability to become a thought leader if you're not a thought leader in your space with a go-to. You want to be, if you do carpet and floors, be the go-to.
Yes.
For carpet and floors. If you're an exterminator, be the go-to. You don't want them sifting through the Valpak mailer and hiring whoever put the coupon in.
Because you want that competitive edge.
Correct. They say, "Oh, I recognize. I trust them. I recognize them. I see
their decision."
Yeah, and beyond not just seeing them in the commercial, right? So someone that can be seen in a more authoritative position is stronger than watching somebody's commercial or a jingle.
Yeah.
Right? So you become a thought leader. You can influence decision making. It helps you convince and convert. And it gives you the opportunity to get a competitive advantage, as Kerry said, because at the end of the day, we all want to be the obvious choice in the market.
Yeah, the go-to person.
If someone is sitting around going, you know what, now's the time. I need to make a decision. I want some coaching. I want somebody in my corner that can help advise me, can help coach me through my business journey, my business process. I want them applying to join my inner circle, join my business accelerator. I mean, that's the deal, right? I mean, I want them to think, and that's why I want them to be exposed to so much content, so it becomes the obvious choice. It's not. I don't want to. First of all, you have to apply into our process, and our team has to kind of approve that to take the next step. But let's just say anybody could join, which they can't. But let's just say that. I don't want someone calling us up going, well, you know, we're talking to 6 other coaches. Tell us why you're different. Why should we go with you? Right? I mean, nobody wants that. And I don't care how great you are at answering that question and talking about your differentiators. And you should have differentiators. You should have USPs, what we call unique selling propositions. Those are the defined advantages and what you offer that they can't get from a competitor. So yes, you want to have a USP. You want to have that as a factor for you as well. But you also want to look at how, because you don't want to blow it.
Right.
You know, they talk about the 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
If you're doing like TV,
yes,
that 15 minutes is more like 4 minutes and 25 seconds of fame.
That's right.
And I've watched people get on with their 4 minutes, and they're still in one story. William did thumbs down. Well, what do we got? We got a yeah. Yeah. And it's over. It's grand opening, grand closing.
Yep.
They're still in one story.
Right.
Before any points have been made.
Yep.
Yeah. And any points have been made. And it's like, man, that went fast. And man, and I've watched it. I mean, you know, for those who don't know, I mean, I spent 2 years on local affiliate CBS television on a morning show. So we had those interviews all the time.
Right.
You know, so tell us about that. Tell us about that. Oh, yeah, it was fun.
And they run on.
I liked it. Or it's the other way. I had a good time. Okay, so tell us what. That's
the worst.
What are people going to see? What are people going to learn when they read this new book? Oh well, I call out 4 points in there. It's a good book. I'm really proud of it.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
Yeah. Let's talk about Windows. Right now we're going to a commercial. And so I want to give you these 6 strategies today I'll give you 6 strategies. So I want to get into those now. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this now. So number 1 is you want to have, depending on how much time you have, you want to have 3 to 5 key points that you're going to make.
Right.
Right. You don't want to just wing it. I know you know your stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that you might know.
Right.
And you're not going to have time, even in our network interviews for RVA Small Business Network, and even in our Meet the Experts series for Thought Leadership Studios, when we're doing those interviews, people have 15 minutes. But you and I both know, Kerry, you see how fast that goes by
Right. Yes.
if the content isn't organized. And, you know, we have a whole process here for that with our guests on getting their content organized and helping them shape that out. But you want 3 to 5 key points.
I would support that first strategy with rehearse it.
Yeah.
Have your 3 to 5. Know what they are in advance. Don't, as you said, don't get in there and try to wing it.
Yeah, because you want to make those points. Because, again, if you're up against the time clock and that type of thing, I was on AM radio for a year. I followed Dave Ramsey in my local market. I like to point that out. That just gives a little more heft. Whether you like Dave or not, he's huge. He's got a big organization, $300 million a year. Right, 300 a day on their own building with like 10 stories in it. Following Dave Ramsey. That's how we used to advertise it in my show. President Principal Radio with Cory Mosley. Following the Dave Ramsey Show.
Yeah.
Right? And I used to tell guests, particularly my communication guests, my speaker guests, my experts, you got to keep it tight, dude. You can talk all you want, but the Geico commercial is coming on.
Right.
So I don't care how good your point is. That time clock hits X.
Keep it tight.
Commercials coming on no matter what you do, right? So you want to have these 3 to 5 key points. If you are, if you run a carpet cleaning business, then you want to have your 3 to 5 key points. The number 1 allergen that affects people that they don't know. How often you should be getting your carpets clean. 3, what are the best organic materials that people should be using to do that? Right? Boom.
Yep.
Boom. Boom. Boom.
Point.
Right. Exactly. Yep. Point. 3 to 5 key points to make. Number 2, you want to find a relatable story. Now, if you've been listening to this podcast, we love stories. We heard today about Kerry's cursing tirade that got him got him suspended indefinitely. He was never heard from again on College Town Radio, costing his station 25 cents in fines. But it was a relatable. It was just a relatable story, or just talking about how people have bombed in some of their interviews. Right. So you want to try to have a relatable story in there. You want to make your 3 to 5 key points, and you want to tell a story to go along with that, so people can connect the dots.
I would simply add that we talked about my Aflac days in a previous podcast. They told us, they said, statistics tell, but stories sell.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's important. So weave a relatable story. Weave in a relatable story. Don't just go off into the.
No, it has to be tied to
unless you're hosting your own podcast, then you can talk about whatever you want. But if you're being interviewed and you're doing media,
be tied to the product or service.
That's correct. That's correct. About. All right, number 3, use seated language to affirm your authority. And when I say seated language, people go, well, what is that? Seated language is language that you will use, or words you will insert that influence the viewer.
Yeah.
Right? In a manner that you want them to influence it. And I'll give you an example. I don't mind. I mean, listen, I'll give you all the tricks of the trade here. But seated language. So when you hear me talk about what we do with our clients, or how we've helped somebody, or in our coaching program,
yes,
that's seated language.
Yes.
Now, I'm not doing it to manipulate the situation, but it's very intentional. Right. Because I want you to know that we have a coaching program. We have our weekend Business Accelerator workshops. I want you to know we have these things, but I also want to pull examples. So when I talk about, our client, Michael, who we've been working with for 3 years, and, has 3x'd his revenue in our program, right? That's seated language.
Yes.
Right. So when someone comes to, our, recently we had our business breakthrough weekend, and, we did X, Y, Z. We helped somebody do that. That's seated language.
Yes, but you're citing an actual example.
Right. So like I go back to the carpet guy. So he might say is, well, typically when we're working with a family that has 2 pets, Or typically we do something a little different with our corporate clients. With our corporate, so what he's saying in seeded language that he has corporate clients. Yes,
planting that seed.
Yes, that's
right there.
Yeah,
in
that's
the mind
seeded
of the person
language.
making the
Right,
decision.
right. To affirm that authority. Right. So over time, you'll hear me in different examples say, well, when I was working with General Motors,
right?
Who's a Fortune 25, right? When I was working with General Motors. And part of their executive team, their corporate team.
It should be this isn't a brag. This
Correct.
is just
Correct.
accurate
Correct.
information
100%.
that you probably need to know. Decision
Correct. And what does
maker.
it tell you? I'm seeding that language to let you know I work with and have worked with some of the largest corporations in the world.
Yeah.
Right? A Fortune 25.
Establishes your authority and your credibility.
Right. Exactly. Right, and you can do that in so many. You can weave that in so many different ways, right? To make those affiliations and to make those connections, right? So oh well, when I work with franchise business owners, one of our franchise business owner clients, right? Well, what does that sort of tell you? Oh, Cory's got experience in the world of franchise.
Right.
Maybe I need to have him come.
Planted that seed.
Right, maybe I need to have Cory come to our convention and speak to our franchise organization. That's seeded language, folks. All right. Number 4 is don't run on. Don't run on. Because again, most of the time, particularly if you're in an organized interview, there's some level of time. Even in the podcast world, even in those scenarios, there's some idea of where people want to be with time. Like we don't want our podcast. Our podcast generally should never exceed an hour.
Right.
Right. We try to be. Yep. We try to be in this 35 to
Keep
50 minute
framework.
Correct. So we contain our content or get to our content based on there. It's not a hard stop like being on news media or doing what they call a hit piece on TV where, we'll bring it in to talk about the impact of XYZ. Joe Jones, who's an expert in this, and now you're doing a hit piece that's 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and the producer's saying, okay, great, time to go to commercial. So you don't want to run on. You want to
have parameters.
Yeah, hit your point, drop a story, use your seeded language, pop, bop, 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 bop. You don't want to linger. And people do this all the time. Even people who are pros in their profession, that doesn't make you an expert interviewer. So that's something that we got to keep in mind. Number 5, focus on being clear, not perfect.
I love this one.
Yeah. Because see, your actions pursuing perfection can also make you appear too rehearsed.
Yes.
Too polished. Right. Too robotic. Well, Kerry, great question. Thank you for asking that. What I typically do with our clients.
It's just a lack of authenticity when you do
right.
that.
And even if you're not trying to be. So you can be so over rehearsed. So don't, I don't get caught up in every I mean, I'm a professional speaker. I hold one of the highest credentials in the speaking business, certified speaking professional. It's an accredited thing.
But it's very.
But I say sometimes too. So it's not
because
I'm
people
not perfect.
do.
Right.
That's a real thing.
And if somebody wants to send me a note because I said you know where you can take that. Okay? Because you're missing the message at that point. Right? There's some we may say words that aren't even words. I don't know. Who knows? But don't miss the message trying to be micro. So focus on being clear, not perfect.
Right.
Yeah. And then finally, challenge the viewer with questions.
I have used this one because we've discussed these 6 strategies before. And I remember when we did, the very next day, I took that 6th strategy to challenge the viewer with a question.
Yeah.
And wow, what a new way to, explain a product or a service or respond in an interview.
Right.
Love that one.
And how would that work? So go back to the carpet cleaning example. So I might challenge the viewer with a question, I typically ask customers, when's the last time you've had a deep cleaning done on your carpet? Not just gone over it with your vacuum cleaner, but really had a significant deep clean. I guarantee you'd be stunned by the amount of things that are embedded in that carpet. Oh,
right,
honey, where's the we haven't we're just running that Kirby. My mother's got a Kirby. William, you used to hustle them Kirby's, didn't you? William used to hustle.
Yeah,
yeah, Kirby's good vacuum. Still doesn't get all the crap that a deep clean of your carpets will get, right? So, but that's my point. So I want to. You're challenging the viewer. Now they're going, you know what? We haven't done a deep cleaning. I can't even remember how long it's been. This guy uses organic stuff. We need to do it. He's local to us. Let's call or email or go to their website. And then we pray that they've got a good process and funnel and method to book that business.
But it is human nature as a viewer to respond to a question. As soon as that's planted, that you challenge them with a question, it triggers something in their head to respond to it.
Right, 100%. Well, there it is. Six strategies to ace your next interview. Yeah. If this information was valuable to you, or you know a colleague, someone that you know is doing more podcasts, or you're seeing in media, then I encourage you to share this episode. Share all the episodes. Like, follow, post, click, ding, dong, all of them. Because they all have different rules. Right? You got to do something different on YouTube. You got to do something different on Apple Podcasts. Share. Rate, if you love the podcast, rate the podcast. If you don't, keep it to yourself.
Right.
5 stars only, right? It's like you tell your Uber driver when you get out, 5 stars only. I get in the Uber, I'm like, what's my rating? I want to see what my rating is. It's like a 4.9, and I'm pissed. Like, who was it? Well, what did I do to somebody? Because I'm the nicest person. I'm whether not talking or we're talking. Right. So like, I don't have any Uber stories where I went off the rails. So I'm like, who
somebody jumped in with
who
you
tried to get me for 0.1? You little dirty dog. Got me for 0.1. But that's what you do. You hop out the Uber and you say to the driver says you 5 stars, 5 stars. Okay.
5 stars, yep.
5 stars.
We agree. Good.
So rate the podcast. We love what we're doing. If you love what we're doing, please continue to support it by sharing it, liking it, and giving some comments here. We really love this education path. And if you start doing media, which I encourage you to pursue, look for ways to do it. You can do paid media. You can do earned media. Earned media, if the station calls you and wants to have you on. Paid media, there are areas where you can make the investment like we do here with our network, with Thought Leadership Studios, where you can invest to have your interview curated and done so you can have this powerful asset, this video asset that's very, very powerful to build your authority and credibility. But I encourage you to do that. And if you apply these 6 strategies to your next interview, I guarantee you will be more successful, even if you've interviewed in the past. If you apply these principles, your interviews will get better, stronger. You will appear more relatable. You will connect better with the audience. And the people, particularly in earned media situations, the people who call me to do media or to come on and get my commentary and thoughts know that I'm reliable, and they know that I will deliver.
Yes.
Right?
And they know you're credible.
And you got to break that ice. So a lot of people who use our interview, who invest in doing the interviews here, then go on to book other interviews, because no producer,
very good point,
wants to, particularly live TV. No producer wants to put you on live television with no experience, never having seen anything that you've done.
Oh, yeah.
So they need to know that you're not going to SHIT the bed. Particularly on live TV.
Or say that word.
Yeah, particularly. Right, 100%. Particularly on live TV. So there you have it, folks. 6 strategies to ace your next interview. This has been another enjoyable podcast. I hope you have found value and continue to deliver value. And if you like this content, get more of our content at growwithcory.com. Our content is 100% free. We make it all available to you. If you're interested in some of our products and services, joining our Accelerator Inner Circle program, or looking at when our next business breakthrough weekend is, you can find that on our site as well. But we love having you. We want you in our ecosystem. We want to pour into you and help. And I thank you for joining us today. As always, I am Cory Mosley.
I'm Kerry James. Another great episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I think we nailed it.
We did.
Well, the audience, I guess, will tell us. Stop being so arrogant, Kerry James.
It's being confident.
It's being confident.
My authority.
That's right. We will see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.